Dhaka. Of course,
it's a tradition, isn't it?
it's security. Of course, security quite maintained.
But
there.
you know, a horse is more expensive than a briefcase.
But that briefcase is carrying the future of the nation.
It depends on. You know, but I agree with you that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying it's a symbolic.
Yeah.
Just like, but you see, the ride of a bridegroom is cheaper than the bride.
Okay.
But I'm looking at, you see, when you take out the entourage of the bridegroom on the bride, the bridegroom is more valuable than the ride, isn't it? But here, what is it Mbadi being carried out the briefcase? I'm just saying, how much are we spending?
It is the briefcase and the person that is actually
Let
the
me ask you,
custodian of that.
do the policemen own horses? No, they don't, isn't it? They have had these horses. Go and check, how much does it cost to hire a horse per day? What are we doing all these paraphernalias? The people we are borrowing money from to finance this budget don't use horses to use their budget. I'm just sorry to say that.
Prof, let me ask this as, because we'll be crossing any minute from now. What should come first? There's been an argument that the finance bill should come first, then we do the budget later. We see the budget, then we figure out exactly how do we go to finance. Is it even possible to have a finance bill before the budget?
Yeah, actually, we begin by budget policy statement and projections, and on that basis, we now do a finance bill to help us finance the budget. But remember, the finance bill must be passed fast, because then if you propose revenue collection using the budget without passing the finance bill, then actually you can end up into illegalities.
Okay.
So the finance, the budget projected, budget policy is done, then finance bill is proposed, then passed before passing the budget.
Okay. There he is, the Cabinet Secretary, John Mbadi, of course, already entering Parliament buildings for the presentation of the budget statement for the financial year 2026-2027. Of course, ready to give us some of the allocations, who are the biggest losers, who are the biggest winners when it comes to matters allocation. And also, after this particular statement has actually been given to the public and the National Assembly, then we start figuring out exactly how do we get to finance it, because we're talking about a deficit of 1.11 trillion. Cabinet Secretary being received by Junaid Mohammed, who is the minority leader in the National Assembly. Of course, Gladys Boss-Sholei there, Deputy Speaker. We also have Silvanus Osoro, the Chair of the Budget Committee, Samuel Atandi, of course, the Chair of the Finance Committee, Kimani Kuria, and of course, there we also have other leaders who are accompanying the Cabinet Secretary, or rather accompanying the Speaker of the National Assembly when it comes to receiving the Cabinet Secretary, that is John Mbadi. He'll be making his way there. Try to take pictures before he actually makes his way to the National Assembly to present this budget to the people.
That's also a very traditional and symbolic picture. No. But you see, when you talk about winners and losers, you guys look at winners and losers in a very different way.
How?
Ministry versus ministry. Let me tell you how to look at it. The winners and losers between the citizen and the state. Who are the winners? It's the state. The citizens are the losers, because there's no money for development. Talk about 17%. If you look at it from the point of view of Mwanjiku, Mwanjiku is looking from the point of view, have the government given me or taken away?
But if the government is allocating different ministries, is it not to facilitate smooth delivery of services to the people?
The issue here is about Mwanjiku. If the government is feeding itself this taffy with 4.81 trillion, yet Wanjiku is only getting 17% of the share. Yet for them, they are getting others.
Photo session there, the Cabinet Secretary with Gladys Boss-Sholei, Stuart Matai, of course, Junaid Mohammed, and Silvanus Osoro, of course, taking a photo there before we actually head into the National Assembly.
With the majority leader?
Majority leader is Kimani Ichung'wah.
But he's not there. Symbolic again, right? Or unsymbolic?
Well, we haven't finished the procession, so let's wait and see whether he's waiting for him somewhere different, or maybe at the entrance.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Chris Kipto there, the Principal Secretary, the Minister of Treasury. Yes, Prof, you're saying something? As the photo session continues.
Yeah, what I was trying to say that the issue here we should be looking at is the state is dividing money with the citizens. because it's Kenya versus the state. So if Kenyans are getting 17%, yet the state is getting 83%, because there's money they are spending on themselves, then this loser is Wanjiku. So the question will be, is this a Mwananchi budget or not?
Okay. Is it a Mwananchi
the
budget?
alternative government try to answer the question, we'll call Mwananchi budget, isn't it? They never got the allocation on how much goes to Wanjiku as opposed to how much goes to the state.
Okay.
And if they don't answer that question, then the loser is Wanjiku.
Okay. When we came to power, when they came to power, they're talking about Mama Mboga and Boda Boda and all that. Does this represent Mama Mboga and Boda Boda to some extent?
All indicators...
Or maybe we should have done a little bit of PR and have Mama Mboga and Boda Boda actually taking a photo with the cabinet secretary.
Or carrying the budget.
I think all indicators seems to suggest otherwise.
But these are some of the provisions contained in the finance bill. The taxing of card transactions to end 17 of the finance bill touches on betting and gaming, 20% withholding on winnings. Withholding tax on winnings is reinstated at 20%. The definition of quote-unquote withdrawals now covers land-based casinos and manual betting, not just online platforms. The import of this is that it levels the playing field between online and physical betting. And gratuity taxation exemption conditions clarified. The gratuity is exempt from income tax only where the employment contract ran for at least 3 years and the gratuity does not exceed 1% of the basic salary. It targets genuine long service rewards, no change for employees who qualify. Another clarification contained perhaps that Kenyans need to understand as far as the finance bill is concerned, the foreign landlords simplified tax framework. Non-residents earning Kenyan rental income must register and self-account for tax unless they use a local property agent. The 7.5% rental income tax rate for residents is unchanged. It affects foreign landlords only and closes an enforcement gap. This is under clause 4. Under clause 6, shipping tax, clearer payment rules. Withholding tax on shipping is removed. Instead, resident shipping agents must pay tax within 5 days of receiving payment or before the ship leaves port, whichever is earlier. No new tax here, simpler and more efficient collection. And also in the bill at clause 8, it talks about trust taxation, which has been simplified. Trust income is taxed once at trust level and not again when distributed to beneficiaries, replacing a complex and confusing dual taxation framework. No taxes, no new taxes here, and it eliminates risk of double taxation.
Mr. Speaker!
If you're just joining us, watching live pictures from the National Assembly chambers, a big day in the calendar of Parliament where the Treasury Cabinet Secretary is expected to read the budget before the National Assembly this afternoon. Here is the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula, walking into the chambers to oversee the business of the National Assembly this afternoon. My name is Edward Kabasa. I now hand you over for this live broadcast of the National Assembly proceedings.
Waheshimiwa, tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umetoa nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu, Tutakusihi utazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao wameridhika kutuita tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Tutakuomba uteremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa, na utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote atakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako siendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. We have quorum. Honorable members, I have a communication on the appointment of additional senators to the Mediation Committee on the Cooperative Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2024. Honorable members, you recall that on Tuesday, 9th June 2026, I notified the House of the appointment of 5 senators to the Mediation Committee on the Cooperative Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2024. I wish to inform the House of the appointment of 4 additional senators to the said Mediation Committee. They are Senator Daniel Kitonga Manzo MP, Senator Professor Margaret Jepkoech Kamar EJH MP, Senator Hamida Ali Kibwana MP, and Senator Betty Batuli Montet MP. Honorable members, the appointment of the additional senators brings the Senate representation in the said Mediation Committee to parity with that of the National Assembly, appointed on 22nd April 2026. The committee is now fully constituted in terms of Article 113 of the Constitution and may commence the mediation process on the bill in earnest. The House is accordingly informed. Thank you. Next. Next.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Father, Standing Order 2252B requires the Further, Standing Order 2252B requires the Speaker to report to the House any petition other than those presented by a member. In this regard, honorable members, I wish to report that my office has received a petition from Mr. Emmanuel Kelly Ojo, identification number 2607, calling for the establishment of a national police firearms digital detection and tracking system. Honorable members, while the petition acknowledges the provisions of Article 243 and 244 regarding establishment and functions of the National Police Service in the Constitution of Kenya. The petitioner is concerned that several security incidents, including attack on police posts and stations in some parts of the country, where officers who were reportedly ambushed and firearms forcefully taken, has exposed vulnerabilities in current firearm storage, monitoring, and rapid response systems. Honourable members, the petitioner contends that the theft or unauthorized removal of police firearms places police officers at heightened operational risk, endangers civilians, and undermines public confidence in national security institutions. The petition observes that the firearm issuance and armory management systems in many police stations remain largely manual and lack immediate electronic detection mechanisms capable of flagging unauthorized removal or tampering in real time. Further, the petitioner notes that there is presently no mandatory nationwide encrypted and automated alert system that instantly notifies command structures upon irregular firearm movement, thereby delaying rapid response and recovery efforts. Honourable members, the petitioner therefore prays that the National Assembly intervenes to amend the National Police Service Act, the Firearms Act, and related legislation to establish a secure national digital firearms detection and tracking system within the National Police Service. This, the petition asserts, must include biometric controlled smart armories, encrypted real-time tracking and alert mechanisms, safeguards for operational confidentiality, dedicated budgetary support and statutory protections to ensure officers are not unfairly held liable for systemic technological failures. Honourable members, having established that the matters raised in the petition fall within the authority of this House and that they are not pending before any court of law or constitutional body, I hereby commit the petition to the Public Petitions Committee for consideration pursuant to the standing orders of the House. The committee is required to consider the petition and report its findings to the House and the petitioner in accordance with Standing Order 2272. I thank you. Yes, KJ?
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, because our standing orders do allow for comments to petitions. And Mr. Speaker, what has been brought forward? To the House, and Mr. Speaker, it is to request your office to allow for some engagement with the Committee on Communication and also some engagement with the Committee for Internal Security led by Honorable Tongoyo so that we may be able to put our word on this petition. But Mr. Speaker, Dagoretti South, having suffered some brunt of this theft of police equipment and attack on police stations, also sees some input, some interest in this petition, Mr. Speaker, and we must thank the petitioner, even as this goes to the petition committee. It is a new world, Mr. Speaker. It is requiring for us to make use of available
firearms because they have been attacked, like the examples he has already given. But there are situations whereby the policemen themselves could hire out guns and firearms illegally for criminal activities, something that has been spoken to several times. I think this is a very good petition, and therefore both the committees that have been given that opportunity to look at it should be careful to develop it in such a way that it brings a law which can digitize movement of firearms from both police stations, police posts, and any other spaces where we have firearms. And this will go a long way in making sure that firearms are with the correct people and they can be tracked anytime. Honorable Speaker, yesterday I was at Kenyatta National Hospital and I noticed they have digitized everything. They can see the money movement, the movement of patients, and virtually everything is now digital. I think this is one space where the Ministry of Interior can actually use this leverage to make sure that we can track the movement of firearms and even later the bullets. And that will really save us a lot of trouble. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Order, honorable members. I agree with KJ and Milemba. Majority Leader, you'll look at this petition.